Guys, Malta. I want to go through somewhat of an exhaustive list as quick as I can on the things you should do in Malta, maybe some of the things you should know before you come. Now, Malta, within 30 minutes of anywhere on the island, you can get to wonderful beaches. The majority of the beaches are like this one right here, and some of the other beaches we've shown, they're rock. So there's only a few beaches that I saw that have sand. Now, a lot of people just enjoy the rocks. The Victorian baths are actually really fun. They're Roman Victorian baths. That's actually a historical little thing to do on the water. There's a lot of them around the north side. Slema and Valletta, we saw a bunch. Super fascinating. In addition to St. Paul's Islands, the Apostle Paul was shipwrecked here on, let's call it the northeast side, if I got that right, of the island. And you can actually go visit those islands. Really pretty. Check out the drone shot I did of that right here. The hop-on, hop-off bus tour. If I had to do it all over again, I would actually just taken their map and done the direct routes on the metro. And here's why. The routes were cut in half, and therefore you got to stay on the hop-on, hop-off bus during all their extra stops, and it takes a while. The southbound was an hour and a half, and the northbound was 3 hours. And there's no cuts to the middle. They just go all the way around. So that made it a little painful on the southbound side, and it was super hot because there wasn't any AC. So we found out there was a trick. The metro buses are air conditioned, and they go straight to where you want to go. So if you can endure figuring out a bus stop, waiting at the right bus stop and waiting on the right side of the street, then $1.50 will get you where you want to go, which we ended up doing like 3 times. We did it to Valletta, and it was actually a piece of cake. So get yourself a map, get the map online, get yourself a smartphone, Google Maps, and go where you want to go in the AC. Save the money and go the direct route. That's what I would do. Now, the only exception to that is we went to a few places, and there are other places we didn't get to go to that probably don't have a metro route. We went to the 2 temples over by the archway, the Blue Arch, not the Blue Lagoon, and not the famous arch of the other island, but the one here on Malta Island. And I don't know if they have any metro routes there. I would be surprised if they did. So we had to take the bus, and the bus was the only thing coming for us, unless you rented a car, which some people do. If you're planning to drive around a bunch, sure, you can rent a car. I don't think it's necessary, really. The weather here is fantastic. I think year-round. It's on the hotter side, so you see all the locals coming out in the evening. But here's the big surprise. The food here is like going to England. I mean, you got everything you ever wanted because England was here for over 180 years. This place has been ruled by 11 foreign rulers over the last 2,000 years. So you can eat anything you want at any time you want, pretty much. I mean, it's really fascinating. I feel like we got our African influences, we got our England influences, we got our like deep European influences. You got your almond milk, your oat milks, you got your soy milks. Like Starbucks is here, 5 of them. So that was really fascinating on the food scene, and surprisingly affordable. I mean, we're eating at our hotel some, and it's really, really affordable. There's so much history here in Malta. We didn't get to pack it all in. I mean, this is a small island. It's actually an archipelago. I think I said that right. It's like the Galapagos Islands. There's not just one. There's 7. There's 3 islands that are occupied. 1 island by a luxurious, wonderful hotel. The other 2 are kind of like cities, that you can live in. The main one with the airport is obviously where most people stay. Now, there's 2, I think it's Camino and Gozo. The Camino has the Blue Lagoon, and a lot of people take boats over to the Blue Lagoon. If you make your way metro all the way to the northwest side of the island, you can take a 14-minute ferry, and they also have direct ferries to go snorkeling or swimming over in the Blue Lagoon. It's just so picturesque. Now, we wanted to actually go scuba diving in the Blue Hole, but it didn't work out this time. The history here is immense, and we actually didn't get to do all the stuff that we wanted to do. There's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There's 3. There's many on the list. I think 9 others that aren't officially entered in, but there was 3 official. And there's one just right in the center, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. I'll put it right here if I get a chance to in the video. But only 60 people get to see it every day. It's one of the oldest crypts and burial sites on the island and in the world here. And only 60 people get to see it every day. 10 people for six different hours. And it's booked out for the end of the year. It's booked out for the next like 6 to 8 months. It's crazy. So I was surprised by that because, I mean, like, open it up. Figure out a way to bring more people in. There's so many forts. There's temples. We obviously saw some temples. There's 365 churches here. After the Apostle Paul came, brought Christianity, there's a church you could go to every single day, a different one every single day of the year, which is really fascinating, including the #1 thing to do here in Malta, which is to go to the co-cathedral church like we went to. We saw a movie here in English, which is really fun. The island, predominantly English. So I don't know why more people don't come to Malta, personally. It was really easy to get to. We took non-stop flight from Paris. Everybody speaks English. They got all the food you'd ever want. Beaches. There's a boat you could take to Sicily from here, direct.
I really loved Malta because it is actually much cheaper than France or Italy, which is really cool. Much cheaper in my opinion, but you have access to everything still. It is definitely like island vibes. It's really small. I think it's something like 33 square miles. But at the same time, it's like you feel so connected to everything. The Wi-Fi has been decent pretty much everywhere, and the options for vegan and gluten-free food just astound me. Everywhere you go, they're aware and they have it on their menu. For the most part, places that I've been, they have a lot of like chain restaurants too, which I find funny, like McDonald's and Burger King and KFC. They also have Costa Coffee and Starbucks, as Jeremy mentioned. So the food has been super easy and delightful. The breakfast at our hotel, I just loved it. Lots of vegetables for breakfast, lots of fruits, lots of options there as well. So that's made the trip really nice. Malta is a part of the Schengen Agreement, so we just essentially flew from France, got here. We didn't have to go through customs, didn't have to go through immigration. It was just like, oh great, you came through the Schengen, okay, you're in the EU already, so easy. Very chill process. It's so close to like Italy and France. It's really just a quick hop over. So if you wanted to come even for a weekend or for a part of your trip, like maybe you're going to Italy or France and you want to throw another country in there, this would be a very easy option.
I would prefer those two if you're going to pick areas to stay, Slemma and Valletta. It seems like everything's kind of centralized around that from what we saw. Now the airport's in the center, so you can access pretty much anywhere. You saw how we got on the taxi, so I'm going to refer back to that. Check out our entrance video on how we got around there. That was by far the easiest and best thing I'd suggest doing. It was affordable too, and you know your price up front, so there's no negotiation. You can just set it and get to where you need to go. We did the hop-on, hop-off bus tour. They gave us a deal. We got the northbound and the southbound. Those are predetermined. They ended up cutting the routes in half, but they gave us the harbor cruise for free. We really enjoyed the harbor cruise. It was very relaxing. Little abrasive because the captain wanted to get his 2 cents in, even though it was already narrated. But I enjoyed the scenery, and that's the harbor we got to go around. It was pretty. It was an hour and a half or so.
So Valletta is a lovely place to walk around. There's lots of shops, lots of restaurants, lots of history. It's all walled. So you have amazing views as well, which is, yeah, it's all phenomenal. Thank you for traveling with us through Malta. Make sure you go back and watch all of our Malta videos because you can understand more details about Malta and all the places that we went and get a few more little tips that we drop along the way. Also, if you haven't yet, go back all the way to Peru when we started traveling the world. We have been to so many countries already, and we are not stopping anytime soon. We really love to make this an experience that we share with others. It's so much more meaningful. We could, yes, just travel on our own and enjoy it and keep it to ourselves, but we put all the effort and time in because we want to share it with you. And we want to have a community experience where we connect with you guys over our love for the world and our love for travel. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey, and we'll see you in the next country.